the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
99.5fm.com. Express yourself live on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. A little cooler today than it was yesterday. But Bahamians, we have some hot issues. Of course, the first rally of a major political party was held last night. I think we have a few clips on that, which we will use today. And let me say to those others out there who have been given the understanding that they need to do something for their country, you've got to get moving right away. Otherwise, you're going to get left out in the cold. The election campaign is heating up. It's going to be very exciting, and we're going to be a part of it. We're going to be attending these rallies. We didn't get to that first one, but we'll be looking at others in the future. F&M rallies, PLP rallies, COI rallies, BCP rallies, any other parties out there having rallies. We want to get the facts as they are, because Bahamians, decisions have to be made for the development of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Some very bad decisions were made over the last 52 years to those who you gave authority to run this place. And all you have to do is look at the facts as they are and make a sound decision and a good judgment, because all the different parties are going to be coming up with different platforms. In fact, you could look into history and see what the two major parties have been saying to you in the past and what they're saying now and what they will come out again with also for the next upcoming election. We're going to be scrutinizing all of those things. What else can they tell you after 52 years in office? What else can they tell you, Bahamians? What is it they have not told you that you don't even understand? Speaking of the PLP and the FNM, they've said many things. You can look at what they said the last time. You can look at what they are proposing to say in the next election and see whether there will be any differences. And those who have been given the authority to govern the place, you are to judge them based on what they do, because we're going to be looking at that very seriously. What did you do while you were there? Because some will come and tell you we need another chance. Some will come and say, give me a chance. We didn't have a chance to govern the country. Some new personalities will be coming to the scene. You have to be a discerning person. And you have to ask God to give you the wisdom to make sound decisions and good judgments, not running after a particular color of a particular entity, a particular party, or a particular personality. Some of you run behind human flesh and blood, skin and bone. We've had that for more than 52 years. People have lived and died in this country, hoping for a better day, voting for particular personalities who never, ever considered their future. That's a problem, Bahamian. That's a big problem that we have in this country. You need the wisdom of God. You have not given God an opportunity to enter into your political affairs. I'm pleading with you to make sure you do that this time around, because God has a lot to say about politics. Do you know that, Bahamians? A tremendous amount. And everything that God says is absolutely 100% correct. So you could depend on that. A political personality will tell you something today, and then tomorrow he or she changes his or her mind, tell you something else different. Because they know you have short memories. You can't even remember what they said last week. So they come up with something else different this week. You say, oops, what did you say last week? You got to go back and check it. Amos, you're not good at that. That is a major weakness with our electorate. We are not good at checking things that have been said and done by those who were given authority in this country. So they come up with something new or something different. And they know you have short memories, extremely short memories. And Bahamians, it has been to our detriment as a nation. That's why we are suffering now as a nation, because we have failed to make corrective action. Now on this radio show, we're going to be objective. We're going to be open. Our platform is wide open. We do not take sides with any political party or any particular political personality. That's not being objective, Bahamians. We want to be able to interview and talk with and hear what their platforms are, what are their views on constituency issues, views on island-wide issues, and of course you have local government. I think there was some meeting down in Turks and Caicos. Is local government working in the Bahamas? When you have more than 70% of your people, or pretty close to 70%, who do not participate in local government. You know that, Bahamians? 1 out of every 4 participates in government, local government. So you're looking at more than 70% that do not participate. Is that democratic? And yet we've allowed it to go on for more than 20 plus years and did nothing about it. You see how we just behave? We let these things keep piling up on us, piling up on us, piling up on us until it explodes. Then you wonder, well, what happened? You let it explode on you because you did nothing about it. So you have to look at local government. Is it working in the Family Islands? What has been achieved? What major local problems have been solved at the local government level? What about constituency issues that affect the people of that particular constituency? And I said to you yesterday, like an constituency like Centerville has different pockets of people in that particular constituency. You have Mason's Addition, one set of problems down there. You have Fort Fincastle, another set of problems up there. Then you have Sunlight Village, Sunlight Cottage. And you go further east into what used to be Centerville. You have a different set of problems. You go further west, Lily Valley Corner, DeVoe Street. These people have different pockets of problems that need attention. And unfortunately, we have not had that kind of detailed representation to help these people. These people have been living in this kind of muck and mire for the last 52 years. Nothing has changed for them, nothing at all. They get so accustomed to it, they don't even know what's happening to them. They're so blinded that they can't even think straight anymore. How did we get like this, Bahamians? An intelligent group of Bahamians who've been to school and learned university level and college level and went to all these trade schools, and some are religious leaders. You mean to tell me we don't have enough sense to think clearly? And of course, where is God in our knowledge? I listen to all of the political talk. I don't hear anything about God in our politics. And he has a lot to say about politics. We have to fix that. Mr. Producer, do we have my guest on as yet? Oh, he's on. Okay, just tell him hold a minute. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to be sure. Mr. Taylor, just hold on a minute. I'll be right with you. The point is, Bahamians, this is going to be a hot election season. I have no problem with that. I want people to have their say. That's why we have this platform wide open for political parties, small parties and big parties, individual candidates who believe God has given them the wisdom and the knowledge to run in a general election. They always tell you what God tells them. I cannot get into that. If they say God told them something, I'm not going to question that. That's what they say. We'll put it on the table. The point is, we need strong leadership in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We need national problems to be solved. We need constituency problems to be solved. We need local government problems to be solved. And some people are talking about local government and your problems where you have the vast majority of your people, Bahamians. Didn't they say government is best where the people are? The people being in charge. You got all these people on the island of Providence. They don't have no local government. These constituencies are bigger than many of those local government constituencies out there. They only got a couple of sheep in there. But you got thousands in the constituencies on the island of New Providence. They don't have one thread of local government. Not one. You have the central government. You have representation. Well, you should have representation in the House of Assembly. Now, that's a different kettle of fish. You have political personalities who've been elected to perform. And in the Senate, you have appointed personalities. Are they performing? I believe 16 senators. 16, I think it is, yes. And Bahamians, we got to get serious. We have not been serious for 52 years. Do you know that? We've been playing games. You know how many people have lived and died in this country hoping for a better day and didn't see it? And here it is, 2025, you're still playing games. Come on, Bahamians, we got to wake up. Mr. Van Dyke Bennett Taylor, welcome to...
Yes.
Welcome to Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. I didn't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, I know you was voicing your opinion, on a situation. Yeah.
Let me correct that a bit because, see, I don't give opinions on the radio station. What I do is I give facts as they are. Now, others can voice their opinion. I got no problem with that. Professor does not give opinions on anything on radio. He cannot afford to do that. Either it is or it isn't. Either you're with God or you're not with God. Either it's right or wrong. Is it good or evil? Because I've been asking some questions. I can't get any answers except I think some people telling me, say, Professor, nothing has happened in our constituency. No major constituency problems have been solved. I said, what the heck are you voting for then? Go ahead, Brother Taylor.
Yeah, it's as we move forward here in 2026, we have to make sure that the right government is in place.
Yeah.
Like I just was looking at Turks and Caicos. Apparently somebody was in the club and some tourists was in the club also, and a guy opened fire inside a club, and 3 persons died on the scene in Turks and Caicos. Like, it's the same old 2 and 6. They put reward out. If any one of y'all see anything, call 911. Yeah, they need stuff in place. What's gonna, like, either laws and regulation that the people who own the club, you gotta make them accountable. Here in America, you can't, like, if a person get a gun inside the club, nowhere in the world they're gonna be able to do so. So moving forward, speaking on the on the government, we really got to do better in terms of protecting the safety of Bahamian citizens, whether from foreign threats and domestic, like all in the same. We have to, like they said, they need 2,000 more police officers to make the country much better.
Okay.
And I mean, that's all in good. You have 2,000 police officers, but is 3 of them going to be down at Dunkin' Donuts eating at the same time and in the same place? You know?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just got to deal with that part. Now, moving forward in terms of the structure of the government, I feel as though it's but time the Bahamian people, and when I say the Bahamian people, I speaking for the majority, 60 or more, that it's but time that the Bahamian people have some form of system that they could, it be like almost like a domino effect to the whole country. You like, I feel as though Bahamian people trying to manage themselves a lot. When I say manage themselves, I mean in terms of without help, right? And if the same way the politician go door to door, why is it that you can't make that a once a month, door to door type thing?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
pay someone to go door to door, get a constant census of everything what's going on, carry a police officer because you need safety, and sometime you might catch a mother or daughter on a down spiral, meaning that now they ain't gonna take her for their son or someone who's doing wrongdoing or the immigrant who is in the house. They
Yeah.
might just choose that particular day, say, hey, I got something to tell you. If you wait that long, by time as you come in the house, they mightn't be cooperative.
Yes.
So by time as you receive the information, no one can help. And like Brave said, he said that his prediction is really for 25 and 26. He said his prediction was not really for right now. He said his prediction is like for 25, 26. And I mean, yeah, prediction that like you say, you dealing with Fox, prediction that ain't gonna work. Like you need targets which you could hit. You
Yes.
can't do prediction. Like the bank loan you money, they expect to get their money or they put you in court and take whatever you have. But no matter what, they're gonna get their money. And that's the type target we need with the type money would be pushing out. And we spending a lot of money on the infrastructure, which is real. I mean, that's all in good, but you got to make sure you hold constituents accountable, because I feel as though it starts with the constituency and then it broadens out. Because if you can't deal with home, how you gonna do when you get on the outside? So
Okay.
I feel as though we have to like spend money in the right places at the right time. All these stuff, like I know that they might be long term, but we need short term resolution and eventually go to that long term. Because I mean, long term, you got to protect the assets of the country, but at the same time, you borrowing all this money and look like people thinking short term. They ain't thinking long term. If you keep on borrowing money, especially from China,
Yes.
you take, like a lot of people talking about Haitians, that's the least of our worries. If you borrowing billions of dollars, you might lose the whole country. Because
Okay.
now when you try to pay back these people, like how Jamaica they don't have no access to the bridge. We have to think of all these stuff. Is but time I believe that the Bahamian people start to have rapid progress, because I mean, the promise has been too long. One government after, it's almost like you hearing the same thing. You know what they're gonna say.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. In fact, what has been happening is that you've had a lot of promises being made by those who were given authority to run this place, both from the PLP and the FNM. And the question is, I always say we need to go back and check to see what has been achieved over that 52-year span. Too many Bahamians have short memories. They don't even remember what happened last year this time at the constituency level and the national level. The political personalities know that Bahamians have very short memories. And so they play on that weakness. Bahamian voters do not ask questions. hard, tough questions. They're very weak on doing that. Whatever political personalities throw at them, that is what they fall for. We have the same thing happening in this upcoming election. We see some personalities who have been in the dark for years. Now all of a sudden they start resurfacing again. And yet a particular personality wanting to run in a particular constituency has already misled and deceived some people in that particular constituency. And nothing has been done for them. A particular personality in a particular personality side offer them some Kentucky Fried Chicken or some beer or some rum, a little bit of food. You know, we fall for these trinkets, man. And we're not thinking about our future as a nation, future as constituents in a given constituency. What is it that you expect from a representative? And I think voters this time have to think about that very seriously. What is it you're looking for? It can't be Kentucky Fried Chicken. It can't be some rum, some coconut or whatever. I believe we have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
You say, my brother, Professor?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Well, yeah, everything good, Professor. But
okay, that's good.
the thing that, Professor, like you say, the Bahamian people, I think something wrong with it. That's why I tell you, Professor, the other day they need to start doing all mandatory and all the workplace, all the schools, and start testing these Bahamian people's brain.
Yes.
And see if they get because these young people them get the brain of the old people who 80, 90 years old. They can't remember. Professor, how in the world if a person beat you with a piece of stick with a nail in it?
Yeah.
How come you can't remember when
Can't
the person
remember.
come with a stick? You telling the man, no, that's the wrong man.
That's the wrong
But
man.
that's the same person who beat you with the stick.
Same person. Yes, you're quite right.
Come on, man, Bahamian people, man. You all see what's going on right now. You see the light bill. Professor, watch how much. I bet you how much money right now. How much people light off right now because of them like that big light. I think I'm gone the other day when they had the big surcharge.
Yes.
And they're the same people them right there who wearing the the PLP shake them on.
We're
Who
being
light off. Professor, how in the world, Professor? Your house leaking. Yeah, you can't, Roy, but the government's supposed to put things in place for you to do better in your country.
of course.
You never feel bad, but you got to be worried with government. You put these people in there, who some of them in, where to go. But now they can build brand new houses and everything. You never build houses, and you follow them every day. And your house leaking and everything and all that. You understand, Gabba?
Yes.
Professor, I don't understand the Bahamian people. And I listened to the other talk show just now. I mean, they're just ratting up. I mean, they're just talking bad about the F and them and this and that. But
Well, I noticed
the
that.
same thing.
I've noticed that. I noticed with that particular talk show host. I mean, that particular personality has been attacking the Free National Movement left, right, center, east, west, north, and south. You look at people who you gave authority to run the place. Make an assessment on them. That's not happening. What are they doing? What kind of governance do you see happening? Are there any major constituency problems being solved? Are there any major national problems being solved? Do you see the police force with all this sophisticated machinery they're supposed to have? What major crime problems have they solved on behalf of the Bahamian people? And what benefits come to us? You have this woman sitting down talking about decrease here and decrease there. Give me a break, man.
Well, because
But hold on, caller. When you analyze it, you add up what happened last June and add up what happened this June. What do you have in terms of murders? What comfort is it to tell people who have had their relatives slaughtered last year and this year that crime has decreased? What comfort is that to them? When you've had people slaughtered last June and people slaughtered this June, what does that tell you? Are those statistics worth anything? Do they have any real value, have any real meaning? You ask them what major crime problems have they solved on behalf of the Bahamian people, and let them answer that. Because one murder is one too many. We don't see that happening in this country. We see a proliferation of murders. We see a proliferation of, look at the sexual offenses being committed in this place. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Professor. Professor, I tell you, there's nothing changing in this country, and the Bahamian people cannot see it. But Professor, I see people who is doing good in this country, fighting hard to try to stay alive, man.
Staying alive, yeah.
They still fighting, and they're getting older. The person can't even move no more.
Yes.
Professor, I don't want to be in that situation, Professor. That's why I'm fighting. Professor, I call the talk show. I can't wait to bring that bag of money to you, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Professor, I can listen. I'm 47, just turning 47 years old. Professor, I have a 9-year-old daughter. My mother died 83 years old. I watch her struggle.
Yes.
You understand where I come from?
I have seen, caller, they're not cutting you off, but I've seen persons before me, my parents, my grandparents, and other senior members in my family who fought so hard to give us a quality education, to give us a better country. And all we can do is sit back and allow others to come in here and take away what mommy and daddy left for us. Is that the way it's going to be? When you have a deterioration of your own children, the kind of bringing up you had, you don't even allow your own children to get that kind of upbringing, which would be good for them. You just let them do any old foolishness and nonsense. We're supposed to be improving in life 52 years later. We're supposed to have a stronger nation, a stronger people, a stronger economy, a stronger movement of people in this country. We don't have that. We have all kinds of strangers and foreigners and aliens and outsiders. The government of the Bahamas doesn't even know the heck who's in here. They have no idea. And all you could see is a bunch of people in here who do not speak English just hanging all over the place. There has been no of strangers and foreigners who are illegally in this country. None whatsoever. Yet they want to tell you how about the detention center only has 50. Give me a break, man. What the heck are you talking about? You never caught them to put them in the detention center in the first place. Because they're all over the friggin' place. Every single island you got loaded with foreigners, aliens, strangers, foreigners, outsiders. That's where they are. Caller, go ahead quickly before the break.
Yeah. Professor, listen to me, Professor. Are not doing the job if we put them in office to do, Professor. Professor, yes, I beg of the Bahamian people to wake up and smell just food for your family, your grand, your great grand, and everything. Professor, yes. That's why we having this problem now, Professor.
Yes, we are.
The parents them are doing it. They just sticking with this generation because no one want to break this generation because you see, because everyone worrying about the pleasure now, Professor. Everyone worrying about that nice car. And all, Professor, I want people have nice car and everything and host them, Professor, the grass higher than the damn house. Yes. Now, because they didn't fix the problem, when they see, Professor, you have to get back into the system. When you can go on a 65 years or whatever, how much years they can put up now for you to get with retirement, you coming back in the system. If you don't fix the system now, you can suffer. That's why the children them can't do nothing right now. The parents hold back these kids. Professor, they're holding back their own kids. We have to stand up for our kids. Where you see, because everyone can't go to the United States.
That is
everyone
true.
can't go to the United States and this and that. We have to build our country now. We have to do something.
Okay.
The FNM and the PLP will never get us out the hole. They wouldn't get us out the hole, Professor. I'm 47 years old. I've been campaigning 15 years on the road.
Okay.
For third party. And I know what's going on. The Bahamian people are hurting.
Okay.
Bad, Professor, and they refuse to they living in this world, Professor. They don't mind if they roof leaking. Don't mind. They don't care.
Okay.
If they when they leave out there with a little Tommy bike and they little Nautica and they little
I can have
big
to go.
chain on.
I have to go to break. My producer's being very patient.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for your contribution.
No
I
problem.
understand exactly what you're saying. We're going to go to a break, Brother Taylor. Just hang on there. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
The perfume.
Because we have very serious problems in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have to be objective in what we say, and we want to give you the facts as they are. The platform here, Global, is wide open for any political party. We want to get the views of those political parties. We want to have proper discussion. PLP people, FNM people, COI people, independent people, others from other parties that have not yet surfaced as yet. I don't know why they wait so late, but whoever they may be, fine. We're prepared to work with them. But we want to be fair to every single entity. Each one has a contribution to make. We have a caller? Oh, the clip is ready. Okay, let's hold it for me. Okay. All right, I'm going to get to it. Mr. Taylor, you there? Mr. Taylor, you there? I'm not hearing Mr. Taylor. I don't know if he dropped off the line. Mr. Bruce, you can go ahead and put the clip in for me. Okay. Oh. Okay, Taylor, are you there?
Yeah, I am. I am.
What had happened to you? You didn't let them other fellas get you, eh?
No, I kept on saying I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, I didn't hear you. Okay. Well, you heard what the first caller had said. He is
Yeah.
the callers. And the thing is, Bahamians are waiting too long to make some sound decisions and good judgments. And as a result of that, we continue to suffer. Let me just say this before you speak. Many people that I know voted for certain personalities to be in the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to bring changes during their lifetime, they did not see those changes in their lifetime. That was over the last 52 years. They died. They passed off the scene. Some of them got sick. Some had some other problems that, they had to fight with. We need to understand that we have to do something about the issues that confront us. We just can't be sitting down doing nothing. We have to make sound decisions and good judgments. So on this platform, we open up to all the political parties, all the political candidates, so we can have a fair discussion, either with PLP, FNM, COI, FNM, COI, whatever, and have a straightforward discussion, even with the independent candidates. Okay, we have a caller? Oh, the clip is ready. Mr. Taylor, just listen to this clip from the Prime Minister. He had a rally last night. Let us hear what he has to say. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
This is a paper in the sky. Yeah, please. You can't make this up. Let me break it down for you. Back in 2020, it was the FNM who passed the law for biometric voting cards then. That's the law passed by them. We are just the government finally doing the job for them. They passed the law, then got scared of their own shadow. All we have done is move forward with what they couldn't finish, and now they're trying to scare people with it. It's very simple. If you're registered, and I want everyone to listen to me, if you are registered to vote, and you're on the register today, and you're still registered, your name will not be removed off the register. No one is being erased. No one is being left out. And if you want your new card, one that fits in your wallet and doesn't need to be hidden under your mattress or in a Ziploc bag, go get your card.
Mr. Taylor, what are your comments on that?
That's blame. They pass and blame again. It appears as though, and I mean now it's much clearer because we were speaking on the show previously about how the card work, but apparently what they're gonna do is input the information what they already have and just push it into the card. But anytime you're dealing with digital, it doesn't work like that. You can't they can run into a lot of complications. That's why with digital, a lot of times they let that go. You let a digital process go within like a year to two, just to fine tune it,
Okay. But the first time I'm hearing about it was when they first announced it a couple, maybe a week or two ago. But the first time I heard about it, I thought there would have been public education on this. The average Bahamian. We know nothing about the FNM passing anything in 2020. Because see, if something is passed, it never became law. It just
no.
And this is what happens with members of the House of Assembly. They may discuss it among themselves, but they never bring it into fruition. So that's not really a law to begin with.
No.
I find exception to that remark saying it's law. It's not law. It has not been enacted. Yes, they may have had a discussion on it. They may have left it hanging like so many other things are left hanging from previous administrations, and it never became law. So the thing is that I don't know how the average person is going to understand that. It will be something new for us. We have to understand, to get a better understanding of it. I don't know if you can do that in a couple of months, 4 months, 5 months, as the case may be. But this is something they want to put in place. And the man is now saying you don't have to get the card if you don't want to. You can still use your paper registration. What do you think about that?
Well, it appears as though he's just looking for a vote. That's how it look. Either you're going to encourage them to go digital or you're going to encourage them to keep the paper. and then you ain't got to spend all the money on digital because someone is going to profit from bringing in that digital. Someone in the PLP is going to win from that. They're not just going to bring them in just for bringing in sake.
Yes.
Someone will profit from that, and I feel as though that's one of the main reasons why you tell them to keep the paper, because in other places, either you're going digital or you're going to keep the paper.
No. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I could see that. But the point is, this has never been explained to the public. We're hearing about this for the first time since they announced it. I didn't know anything was passed by the FNM in 2020 about any digital card that's supposed to be used in the election. They brought this forward. The administration of today brought it forward, that they want to push it. Now, I would have thought this was supposed to be, when I first heard about it, a discussion with the Bahamian people. They are hell-bent on voting this into law, bringing it into law. Either by the time summer ends or after the summer, whatever they adjust that a little bit now, saying after the summer, I don't know. But I would have thought there would be full-scale discussion with the Bahamian people so we could understand the ins and outs, the pitfalls, the dangers, the benefits of what this is all about, so people could have clarity as to what they're getting into. Because as it stands now, I don't know what I'm getting into. I know what we have now, but I don't know what we'll have later. I believe we have a caller on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, good day. How are you?
Very good. I'm here listening, entertained, and I have to agree with both you and the guest, Mr. Thompson, because when you talk about the flaws in our political or electoral process, you are now identifying it clearly that the fact that, as the gentleman said, it shows indecisive for the leader to put us as a nation in terms of are we moving forward? We touting this as revolutionary technology moving into the 21st century, but then you're appeasing persons who are now resisting this change or this movement forward simply because, as Mr. Thompson said, we as those at the elect failed to bring it to the constituency level and host the various forums to allow persons to be educated on these processes that they were discussing in Parliament or Cabinet years, months later. Because like he said, this is a blue paper or white paper that was on the FNM desk. So this is nothing new that they didn't know, but their failure came in 2021 and didn't utilize from the constituency level offices to educate us at the constituency level. So as Mr. Thompson said, we could have been informed, had more time to prepare, so it don't feel like a rush thing. Because you're talking about technology. You know, you can't make mistakes at the beginning and expect things to not compound as we progress. That's why we're in this problem with fact. You see?
Yeah, I understand you. Yeah. So, I would have thought there would have been some public discussion, input from the people as to whether they agree with this or not. What I've seen the government do, even with the land issue, is they've already passed the land legislation. There hasn't been any discussion, public discussion, input from the people in the various constituencies, the Bahamian people in general, as to what we're getting into. And we're going to run into some serious issues with the land problems that we have in this country. Is complicated. And the average person doesn't understand these things about land legislation. The same thing with this card that we're going to be having. The average person doesn't understand what is going on. And that's a vast amount of people. So if it is not explained in simple, basic, fundamental language, we're going to get lost. That's what's going to happen. We're just hearing what a political personality says. And you need to decipher that. You just can't accept it from that particular personality because that particular personality said it. You have to check behind what is being said. Why is it being said? And it's not so simple as some people try to make it be. It's not that simple. It's very complex. for the average Bahamian, because the average Bahamian doesn't understand these technical things. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Yep, and
Taylor,
you are so correct.
yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm here.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
I'm here. Yeah, what I'm saying is that the Bahamian people, the average individual, they barely could wake a phone. And you see how long the phone being into play.
Yes,
So now you telling them to go ahead on this digital platform and no information has been given in specific detail that you could know that the vast majority of the people have some form of understanding. Because
yes,
sometimes some people they just ain't gonna do it. They're gonna have in their heart to like, look, I'm not into it. But for the vast majority, you gotta educate the people. And like the gentleman said, at a constituent level.
yes, constituency.
Because because if you don't do it like that, if you try to go on a big platform, they ain't listening to that. If you still they most of the time they just go up to jump up and down. But when you get in the constituent level, then you could focus more individually
Yes, you
and
can.
make sure that at least to a certain level that they don't.
I believe we're having some difficulties with Mr. Taylor. I
You
think
know.
he's in and out. You're coming in and out, Mr. Taylor. I don't know what's happening there. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, continue.
Can you
then.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but you were
Yeah.
coming in
So
and out. That's what I'm talking about.
okay. Yeah, like I was saying, is that information have to be given thoroughly to the constituents at the constituent level. And when you get on that big platform and you try to speak to the country as a whole, you have to use reference to those constituents stating that we have certain amount of people that understand this platform and they know how to work it.
Yes.
If you don't do it like that, then what happens is your objective becomes just the vote, and you could really care less. Because a lot of people like when you're talking like paper and digital, here in America, they have a cutoff point. Whereas they say, okay, we implementing this, and by so and so date, the paper will not be used anymore. Same
Okay.
thing with the visa. They tell you, say, hey, that stamp in your visa, you need this. If you don't get your e-passport at the same time, that passport is null and void.
Okay.
So it's the same way they should be doing it. But I feel as though a lot of these, when you're talking like digital stuff, like in the F&M government, the problem was the drones. They bring up these drones. I can't picture. I know they talk with secrecy, but I can't picture. If you have all these drones, how come you can't catch these guys them shooting up all these people?
Okay.
If you bring all these drones into play, I speaking on the previous government. Now you have the digital card, which we going into the 21st century. I mean, 2026, all that. But with that being said, you really, what I don't like about it is someone is going to get rich off it. That's the only thing that I don't like about it. I mean, if you really research these things, it's almost like a recurrent event. If you search in depth of the person who have the contract, more than likely they're going to be affiliated with the PLP party. That's
Okay.
just how it works. And I could be wrong, but I mean, that's the tendency of the country.
But see,
You know, it's
all of these factors ought to be on the table. We ought to know who's
yeah,
involved. All right, because there was some speculation about a foreign company being involved in the election of 2026. Of course, that was denied at that time. But we got to be sure who we are dealing with. We can't make any mistakes. We have to get as accurate, precise information as we possibly can to pass on to the Bahamian people. That's what we want to do here at Global Radio 99.5 FM. And there's some things you have to dig up. You've got to go in and dig it up to get it because it's hidden. And some people are
yes,
hiding behind certain forces and are not being honest and upfront with the Bahamian people. And that's
Yeah,
what we call deception.
Right.
yeah.
Go ahead.
The only thing what I dislike about a digital system is just like Facebook. In the world, like people fail to understand there's nothing free. You go on Facebook and they say, "Oh, it's free to join." Where you think they make the money? They sell your information to people, whether the police officer, whether FBI, a creditor, they sell your information. So when you get on these digital platform, you have to understand that, okay, where they making their extra money from? Are they going to sell your information? Because anytime you're dealing with anything with biometrics and stuff, normally those companies make most of their money by selling information.
Okay.
Like their their focus is really on that one area. That's the only security what you have is okay. When you're using this computer, there's no one gonna have access to this computer. But we will sell your information to someone else. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I dislike about it.
Do that though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I understand you. Yeah, the lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Bahamians, we have to be very much concerned about what's happening to our country. Those persons who have been given authority to run this place, making laws, making agreements, all of those things, we have to look very deeply into these things, Bahamians, in order to make a sound decision and a good judgment. The unfortunate thing is we take too many things on the surface and we don't dig deep. We have to dig deep because we have to save this country, Bahamians. We are on a very precarious position. We have to do something about that. We cannot afford to let the country be like the Gaza Strip, or like how it is in Haiti, or like how it is in Ukraine, and of course, some other places out there, where these nations that have fallen so low, they may never ever recover. And since they don't recover, there will be years and years of suffering that will happen to those people. And it's happening right now all around the world. We see it all the time. It's only a matter of time. If we don't correct the things that are going contrary to us in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you're going to have everything fall flat. The lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. I want to hear from you. And Bahamians, you need to organize yourselves. I do not believe, based on the information that I have, that there is that strong organization on the ground among the electorate to look objectively at issues and also the particular personalities who will be presenting themselves to become a representative in that particular constituency. There's not enough work doing on that. And also we don't seem to understand the quality of the persons, the lifestyles of the person, the behavioral patterns of these people. Whatever they have with them right now, Bahamians, they'll take that right with them in the House of Assembly, right into the cabinet, right into high government positions. And you will get the same negative results. Because you have people who are just pretending. They put on a good show and mislead and deceive people. Deception is going to be an all-time high, Bahamians. It's going to be far worse than it was in the past. And we have to be very careful to have a discerning spirit. That's why you need the Spirit of God to guide you, to lead you, to help you to see better. You can't fight this fight on your own intellect. This is not enough. You're dealing with flesh and blood, skin and bone. And you got some wicked spirits out there that have such strong hold on people. And they lead them right down to destruction. And you're going to fall with them, Bahamians, if you don't make sound decisions and good judgments. That is why we need to have the facts. We're going to go and get them. Wherever we have to do, which is legally sound, constitutionally sound, biblically sound, we're prepared to do that. We're not going against anything that is contrary to Holy Scripture, that's contrary to the Constitution, that's contrary to the laws of the land. We can't afford that, Bahamians. We've seen too many negative things happening all around the world. You think we are immune to anything? No, we are not. If we do not get our house in order, we can find ourselves even in a far worse state than what those people are today. And so we have to be very careful as we go forward. Brother Taylor, you still there? Mr. Taylor? I do some not hearing him. Mr. Taylor? Okay, hopefully he must have lost him. We'll get him back up later. But Bahamians, it is important. This is an election season, and you're going to hear a lot of things from different personalities. We don't get into no mudslinging with anyone. We can avoid that altogether. We deal with issues. You come on, you tell us what your platform is all about, what you hope to do in a particular constituency, what your program is. We want to make sure that the information is clear and precise. We don't want to hear it from a third or fourth party. We want to hear it directly from you, directly into the ears of the people. And they can make a sound decision and a good judgment. They can decipher it and be able to say, yes, we're with this, we're that, we're with the next thing. Our job is to facilitate information, accurate and precise information. If you said it, that's what it is. We present that, we put it out before the people. I think we got to go to a break. This is Professor Sidney McGarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. are sending in Facebook messages and people who are calling into the show. What would be a good thing if we can get people who can give something to assist the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? In other words, what is it that you were able to do, or your particular grouping able to do to make life better? Because basically what you find is people dwell on negativity. They strive on negative thoughts, negative commentary. Bahamians, that's not helping the situation. We need to find persons who have a positive mind, an open mind. Yes, we must deal with problems. We must settle those problems. But we need to come up with information that is going to be helpful, because a lot of people just simply like this bashing attitude. I don't think it's good for the country. I think if you have a comment to make, it should be designed, if you can do that, to see how you can express yourself in a way to uplift the spirits of the people. In other words, right now we have so many negative things happening in this country. People have lost even how to think properly anymore. They have to help them, Bahamians. And I work hard to get you to do that. It's going to take cooperation on the ground where you live, Bahamians. You cannot keep living in isolation one from another. There has to be that cooperative spirit prevailing throughout the constituencies. Not because you're a particular member of a political party or you are a follower of a political party. That's not the issue. The issues that affect you in that particular constituency affect all of you, whether you be PLP, FNM, COI, whatever else you might have. People are being affected. The problem don't say we are going to bypass you because you have this color, that color. Mr. Taylor, you there? Van Dyke Taylor, you there?
I am.
Okay, go ahead. I was calling you, but you seem to be freezing up. I'm understanding.
Yeah, this headpiece, I really got to change that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
they're more technical. Yeah, so one of as I was thinking in depth, one of the major things is, I mean, because I heard Brother Miller, he was on the show and he act as though he's totally against the PLP, but I think they just do stuff just to really deter some people. I figure, like, because I know his family, they have their hands and stuff, so it'll be a conflict of interest not to be at the PLP. But I mean, that's a totally different thing from a different standpoint. But I feel as though the immigration situation have to be of the utmost importance, and if that don't be addressed, I figure like we may be 3 years away from really. We could be 3 years away from the government being taken over.
Okay.
Like we could be, because bear in mind, kids who are 15 or kids who are 16, they're going to be 19 in 3 years. And even though that's not election time, I'm just saying, like, so by time is you have like all the foreign kids, they're going to be eligible to vote, and they might be stronger than ever.
Let me well, I'm hearing what you're saying, and I have to look at it a little differently, because you see, what has been happening is you have this thing called the Bahamas Nationality Act, which is not constitutionally sound. That's point one. The unfortunate thing is the governor of the Bahamas has been using it for 52 years. It was supposed to come into effect July the 10th, 1973. It was passed under the old British system, where we were a colony. at that particular time. We became an independent nation July the 10th, 1973. Every single thing that is in law ought to fall under this new constitution. The Nationality Act doesn't fit into that. It was something that was passed under the old parliament, but when we come to July the 10th, 1973, when the supreme law came into effect, it knocks out the Nationality Act. But you have people, even today, say they want to be naturalized. And people are being given pieces of crap, pieces of paper, saying they are citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That is a real problem, Mr. Taylor. That's what's happening right now as I speak to you. People have been applying for a long time, wanting to be citizens. People who could never, ever qualify to be citizens in this country because the Constitution does not have any pathway for them to be citizens. When it came to nationality, the only people who were given an opportunity to become citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas were those who were working here, the United Kingdom and colonies, who were members of the United Kingdom and colonies, and their children. As I understand it, most of them, if not all of them, didn't take citizenship in this country. They only had 1 year to do it. 1 year, July of 1974. That's when naturalization was granted and given to them specifically, not to any other nationality. The door shut 1 year later, and it's been closed right up to now. But yet you have the authorities in this country using a piece of legislation that was passed under the Parliament when we were colony, which does not fit in with the supreme law of the land. That is causing a problem in this country. That's the big elephant in the room. And you have people who could never qualify as citizens of this country. Say they're coming under the Nationality Act. The Nationality Act is contrary to the Constitution. How could we be using this? And yet nothing has been done about it. Right up to this day, 52 years later. You can imagine the number of people who are on the voter registration list now saying they're citizens. And this is going to be transferred to the so-called digital card when the register is riddled with people who could never qualify to be citizens. We have to fix that, Mr. Taylor. Are you hearing me?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That has to be fixed. They have to be stopped.
Yeah.
That's the real problem in this country today. People are being granted citizenship by the government of the Bahamas, by the Department of Immigration. They say the government of Immigration Board. Huh? What kind of nonsense is this? By an act that is not constitutionally sound. Because in the Constitution, you have some very specific things that tell you how you become a citizen. There's no pathway for these people who are applying now from all these different nations, say they want to be naturalized. There's no pathway for naturalization. Naturalization was only for those who were of the United Kingdom and colonies. You had people from Jamaica who got citizenship, people from Barbados who got citizenship who did not qualify. They were not colonies of the United Kingdom and colonies at that time. But yet you got them sitting up here talking about they're friggin' citizens. Huh? The mistake occurred from day one. And it is still happening today. Mr. Taylor, what do you say to that?
Yeah. What they did is they took similarities, and they know that, like I said, they know that the Bahamian people doesn't question a lot.
No, we don't.
So when they hear naturalization, the Bahamian people just go with something that's similar, but it's totally different, because they're not going to search for specific in writing. And like you say, it's not constitutionally sound.
No, it's not.
If it was after 1 year, all those stuff goes away. It was only for 1 year. You have 1 year to do it.
No, it
And
only
it's a
applied. Hold on, Mr. Taylor. It only applied to persons who were in the colony, citizens of what? United Kingdom and colonies who were working here. Anyone else is excluded from that. And that was only for 1 year, up to July of 1974. That's when it ended. It has never been we never had a referendum to change that. That's been dead from July of 1974. But now it's being applied to all these people from all these different places. What kind of crap is that? It just doesn't make any sense. But it's happening
no.
as I speak to you right now today. We have to fix that,
Yep.
and it will be fixed. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, we have to like the. I figure in this country we must have a accountability, and all the government they do as they feel, and when they get mad, you'll see they'll fire you too. And Trump is doing something similar over here. And what happened is, if a government do it for one area, they can do it for all areas, and that's the risk which you take. Because when somebody do something for one area, it becomes a trickling effect, and then they said, "Look, I'll do it. If a person kills someone, I'll pardon them too. I won't put them in jail. I would waive them." And before you know it, it becomes like a dictatorship type government. Because it could go into that area if the right money involved, you'll see the how men them conduct themselves.
Yes, okay. Yeah, we are saying that. Unfortunately, money has a way of weaving its way in, and the lust for money, the greed for money, causes people to do all kind of funny things. This is why you need people of quality character. We need to look at the character element now in persons who are going to be in the House of Assembly, in the Senate, and in high positions in this country. What is it that we are looking for, Bahamians, in persons who we want to run this country, to run our national affairs, to run our constituency affairs? How well do we know them? A person may have a party label on them or an independent label on them. What about their character? What is it that they would have done that would qualify them to reach the national level now, to run a country? What about their own lives? What have they achieved? What have they done? Where is the record that you could look at and say, here is the record of this particular person? Because some people have some strange behavioral patterns. And sometimes you only know about it when they are in the seat, when they've already been elected and have done a lot of damage to the Bahamian people. And we just sit there and let them keep doing more damage. That's what even is worse still. Instead of moving to stop it, we just simply sit back and allow it to accumulate. And that's why the country is in the mess it's in now. Because we allow an accumulation of garbage that has penetrated this place and is affecting the Bahamian people tremendously. We have to work on that. The lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Bahamians, we have major national problems. We have major constituency problems. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of protection do we have in this country with crime being so high? Even though the commissioners say there's been a decrease in crime from last year to this year. Okay? And there are a number of ways you can look at that, but people are still dying. People are still being murdered. People are still being raped. The tremendous amount of rapes, I've noticed that. Just every time you open the paper, you listen to the radio, all kinds of rapes occurring in this country. What has happened to our people? How we get like this? Where did this rape demon come from? Or demons, as the case may be. Because it happened. And children are being molested, being attacked. Boys and girls. Well, where did this come from? Mr. Taylor, where did this come from? Where did this kind of behavior? Because growing up in this country, I don't know of that kind of foolishness going on. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
It comes from parents, and a kid, he doing what he feel like doing, and mainly the social media. Because now you could go on the social media and all type of sexual stuff is on there. And then a kid doing it every day, and he be consumed with it, and before you know it, he want to put it into action.
Yes.
And like it starts with the mind, corruptible mind,
Yes.
and then eventually it's going to come into action because you want to fulfill that desire.
No, I can accept that because, see, Scripture says the carnal mind is enmity against God. And when you feed that carnal mind with that kind of garbage, as you yourself said, you want to put it into action because that's all you know. And so as a result of it, parents have a battle to fight because it is harder for parents to bring up children today in 2025 than it was 15, 20 years ago. And so it means that some things have to be dealt with. And I feel parents are not being very strict with their children. They are very loose with their children. They're not paying attention. They let the children go anywhere and everywhere at any time they feel like doing so. I see a lot of children walking the streets unaccompanied by adults. None. Little children, some of them 4, 5. So they go into the shop and they have the money in their hand, open. They have it open, and I tell them, no, you fold that, put that in your pocket. And then you get in the shop, you take it out. But we do not have parents taking an active interest in their children. We have all kind of molestation now. Even with persons who are supposed to be looking out for you, who are supposed to be relatives, preying on little children, boys and girls now. What are we coming to? We're supposed to be a Christian nation, a nation under God. Where is the God factor? Where is the church? People asking, where is the church? What are we doing to counteract this kind of behavior? What do you say, Mr. Taylor? What can we do
Well,
about it?
I know one thing. Certain acts is once you cross the line and you do certain acts, the only thing left to do is wipe you out. Like you got to put them because it becomes more like spirit.
Yeah.
Because certain things you don't try to figure out. You just say, if you could do this, that's over for you. There's certain things that is callous. Like they entrust you with a relative. And when you look you up in sex with them, they supposed to get their first experience from their husband or wife.
Yeah.
And you is the one who people entrust. That time you have other agendas.
Yes.
Yes, so in America, touch your child as a relative. That's life. Like they don't even play with that. The only thing what could save you, every situation, but we just need enforcement on the books. That's all. Because I think these laws are already in place. It's just that people look like they're afraid to tell someone a person steal 100,000 and another person steal 1,000, they get the same time. How does that work? It just some things just don't make sense in the system in the Bahamas. The laws what they make them. You know?
And then another thing, what we've been having are these sentences to run concurrently at the same time.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I have a problem with that because a lot of things happen like that. A person commits a number of criminal acts against different people, and he's going to get 4 years to run concurrently for all of them.
Yeah.
Is that justice? Is that people have to ask, is that justice? Is that fair to the people who have been damaged by this particular individual? Where is the justice in that? He goes to prison
No.
for 4 years, and perhaps for good behavior, he gets less time than 4 years. So he's out again doing the same crap.
It's no deterrent.
No deterrent at all. None whatsoever.
You know.
You would have
Yeah,
thought. Go ahead.
No, I said like they have to make us a system in place. Whereas like take for instance, the guy get catch with nearly over like 15, 30 guns.
Yes.
And because he plead guilty, what that means? What that means? Because they catch you, you plead guilty? No, man. You could plead guilty or not. Just the minimum sentence, what you're going to get.
Okay.
Not like you plead guilty and I'm going to give you the same amount of sentence. What the guy who have one gun gets. It doesn't work like that. And that system doesn't make sense to me. You know?
Okay.
It doesn't. Because there's certain things there's no reconciliation for. Like you rape young girls, you're a serial killer. Why are you putting them in the jail? You got to get rid of them. And they say two wrongs don't make a right. No, man. You got to kill that spirit. You got to. Because that spirit, like, I mean, they talk with studying and all that. I figure, like, you know, some things have to be made to pay for.
Yeah.
And even though some people are callous, you're going to have people, they think more. Because you want people to think. Like, if I do this, this is going to happen. They're not playing.
Yes.
But if they say, oh, I'm going to go there, I could do 4 years for raping like 6, 7 women. No, man, that ain't making no sense. That have to be done. I mean, you look like you would be a good national security minister, Brother Thompson.
Yeah, go on, Mr. Taylor.
I said it appears as though if you was in national security, I believe you could just apply the Constitution to them, and everyone would know that no, don't go to Mr. Thompson. He's gonna apply the law to you. You know.
But I think this is something that the Bahamian people have to look at. If you're going to have people to run your affairs, whether it's myself or anybody else for that matter, the law must be applied very rigidly, very strictly. And the problem when you do not apply law, because the scriptures tell you plainly, when you allow evil to persist while good men and women sit and do nothing, you have evil persisting. And the scripture also says that because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, it is set in the heart of the sons of men to continue to do evil. That's what happens. There's no deterrent against the wickedness that they are doing. And you have to take swift action against these things. Because we have just too many things happening, too many criminal acts happening in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The police are overburdened with investigations. They have to do a lot of investigations. I can understand that to a point. And investigations do take time. But you just have a limited number of police officers. that are available to do investigations. And there are some big criminal acts that have to be investigated. And so this is the problem that we have. Such things are going to get left behind. That's just the way it is. We have to face it for what it is. Some things get left behind. That is the problem. So we have to be and see what we can do as be obedient to law. Think about situations like bringing our children out of having them come back today, communicating with some who had diapers pinned on them, all right, by some of our but right in this country, we're losing too many men. Now we're losing too many women. We've already lost too many males. With women in our country. We have to be very careful. Sickness. Look at the health of our people. And yet every time when you hear about anything, there's always an eating session. And you have these events right here in New Providence. There's always and so people will eat, and they're eating some things that are not in their best health. They're eating things that can cause them to get sick. And they remain sick. I think we have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live. Hey, what's happening, man? Thank you very much.
I say, when I see them pass that land there, listen to me. I was legalizing marijuana in my Christian nation before I see them move. Maybe go back to the good exam. Our friend is straight. Real property tax. So what money did he make to own land in the Bahamas? He got decent. And see them, we move, that thing what you talking about, we moved down. Never. I didn't think no politician would touch that. I didn't see us legalize weed in a Christian nation where the Christian council sitting right there before I see them touch that. That's all I got today.
Okay, thank you very much. It's just sitting there for the time being, and I think they're still working on it. Mr. Taylor, what do you think about that? With the comment from the caller?
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, it's a conflict of interest. You saying one thing on the pulpit and you're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
And either you in it or you not with it. So we can label you and know how far to go with you. Like, take for instance, I feel as though the politicians, like getting in, it should have some form of conduct policy. Like your sexual preference, all of that should come into play. Because we're a Christian nation. And I feel as though you shouldn't be doing something behind closed doors, because it comes with integrity.
Yeah.
And how could you believe a person who say one thing and do something totally different? Like, and that's my concern in that part. You know, because a lot of people say, no, that's my business. No, your business is the people's business. The minute you said you want to go into parliament, your business become the people's business because you represent the people. So whatever you do has a lot to do with the decision you make in the future.
Yes. Yes.
And I feel yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel as though that have a lot to do, like what a guy does when he is not working in this office. Because there's a lot of corporate jobs. You can't do certain things because they have a lot of conduct policy involved. Even on national television, all these So why is it that we can't have the same procedure?
I think that we can, but their standards have to be set in place. We can't say you being a public figure, your private life is one way and then your public life another way. That's being duplicitous. That's being deceitful. What you are speaks so loud that people can't even hear what you're saying. Uh, you are working on behalf of the Bahamian people, and you have to have a certain decorum that is respectable, and people can trust your word and depend on what you say. We're going to a break. This is Professor Sidney Magada Walter Thompson. We have my special guest, Mr. Van Dyke Bennett Taylor, on the show today. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Get ready.
Express yourself here. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Magada Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM, Bahamians. This is the last portion of the show today, the last 30 minutes. I understand from my producer. You got to get your calls in while you have the time. 326-0271, 326-0272, 8130-271. And in addition to that, Bahamians, you've got to get organized on the ground. And you want you to support the work that I'm doing here at Global Radio and also some other things that I mentioned to you. I want you to send me that email. I'm going to remember that, tell you that right now. the State of the Nation 242@gmail.com. And you say, Professor, I want to support what it is you're doing at the radio station and other things that have to be done because Bahamians, we have to save this nation. If we don't wake at it now, if we just sit back and let things happen, Bahamians, we have only ourselves to blame. We have to take decisive action. You, who are the voters out there, and make things better for your country, for yourselves, your children, your grandchildren, and others out there who are crying out for hope. So it's very important that we do that. And I want to mention about the country, Sudan in Africa, where that country has been broken up by two particular persons who wanted to run the place. And many people have died, Bahamians. And it's going to take a long time. They may never, ever get back to where they were before. And that has been happening with many countries all around the world. They start to fall and they keep falling and falling and falling till they smash right to the ground. Now, in the Commonwealth of Bahamas, we have a strong constitution. That's what's keeping us up, and the grace of God keeping us up in this country, even though we have a lot of problems which can be fixed. But we have to be willing to fix them. We have to be willing to sacrifice. Nothing happens unless you sacrifice for it. Because there will always be people who will oppose you, who have some ulterior motive, who have their personal agenda, which will be lifted above the interests of the Bahamian people. You cannot allow that to happen any further. We need people who have the interests of the country at heart. And there's a way to find that out, Bahamians. You deal with the Holy Bible, and you deal with the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Those two documents will never lead you wrong. But now some other things, some people write, they put it together, they have a platform. Yes, let's look at the platform. Let's see if it lines up with the Holy Scriptures. Let's look at it and see whether it lines up with the Constitution. That's how you do that. Because a lot of things are written, but people just don't mean to keep those things. It's just words that they put on a piece of paper, and you buy into it and you think it's good, and you give these people an opportunity to run the country, and they fail you every single time. That's what's been happening. So, Bahamians, you have to know the character of the people you are electing to run your national affairs. That's why Scripture says, when the righteous are in authority, Proverbs 29:2, the people rejoice. When you don't see any rejoicing, you know you don't have righteous leaders. That's what God tells you. And you don't beat around the bush when it comes to that. Either they are righteous or they're not. And I think we need to take that seriously, Bahamians. Another thing, are these representatives prepared to put their lives on the line for the sake of their constituents? Yes or no? Or are they there to line their pockets with money, the people's money? Is that what they're there for? Do you see any evidence where people's lives are being put on the line with their constituents or on behalf of their constituents? Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Yes. This is the gentleman that called in yesterday. First time caller.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Listening to your recourse again. One of the biggest thing that I see, one of the biggest travesty that I see in this country, over the years, the government has promised the freedom of information
Freedom of Information Act, yes.
Yeah, the Freedom of Information Act, and they beat around the bush. They beat around the bush. They drag along simply because they know that we are most of us are people who are not really educated on, in my humble opinion, these three basic documents which every citizen should know. Number one, your constitution. Number two, the labor laws, and the penal code.
Yes, okay.
These are documents that enshrine the rights of every citizen.
Okay.
And so, therefore, in my opinion, in order to dumb down the population, they hide these things from you. It is just like a man, say you drop a dollar.
Okay.
And if that man want to hide from you getting that dollar, he would not tell you.
Okay.
He will see you drop the dollar and would not say anything, or he will pick it up and hide it.
Yes.
But if he really wants to empower you, or really wants to, to not steal from you, I mean, in my opinion, he would not tell you, hey, you dropped that dollar.
Yes.
And over the years, I feel that these things should be taught inside the schools.
Okay.
Should be a part of the curriculum. Because once you are empowered with the knowledge, then you are able to, assess and know, just like what you were saying,
yes,
who are the right candidates.
yes.
And you are able to get the information and you're able to challenge the validity of what they are saying.
Yes.
And how they're gonna represent you in the House of Parliament.
Yes. No, caller, you're correct on that. We need to challenge whatever it is they say, and we have to line it up. And of course, you mentioned about the penal code, yes, and the teaching of it in the schools and all of that. That's been going on. Well, the lack of it, let me put it this way, hasn't happened in 52 years. So that should tell you something about the personalities who've been governing this place. The Constitution, that's out of the question, because the people who have been elected to run the place don't know the Constitution. That's the biggest problem in this country. We're sending people to run the country who don't know the Constitution, who have no understanding.
And Mr. Thompson, can I also add, in regards to the Constitution, I heard you say something about persons getting citizenship under the Bahamas Nationality Act.
Yes.
Which based on the Constitution, in the Constitution, it states, and it clearly states that if any document, any law, or any policy that is inconsistent with the Constitution remains supreme.
Yes.
One of our biggest problems is because they know that the majority don't know this document, and nobody has the guts to challenge them in a court of law in regards to the Bahamas Nationality Act, because also in the Constitution, dual citizenship is not recognized in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
That is
and
correct.
We all know that the people from down south cannot renounce.
That's correct.
And in order for them to renounce, they have to go in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and they have to go to the Attorney General or National Security Building in Haiti and renounce. Now we all know that here, the Haitian the Haitian embassy is giving them a document from which government, because we have read in the paper, Haiti right now doesn't have a stable government. So how are these people renouncing? Has anyone went there to Haiti to renounce first? Because in their constitution, 2012, a Haitian born anywhere in the world is a Haitian.
Yes, that's correct. And in fact, as it stands now, according to their current law, they cannot renounce, period.
Correct.
So therefore, none of them could be given citizenship.
Right. So therefore, the both successive government, and this is the reason why I said both of them, PLP and FNM, are one, because they are perpetrating a fraud on the Bahamian people, and they are trying to form a new voting bloc.
Okay.
And it is not the Bahamian people. Whenever I listen in the news, the government is saying technically, oh, they are Bahamians. Bahamians how? Bahamians by birth or Bahamians by paper? We need to differentiate that, and the media doesn't do. Let me put it this way: doesn't do any research. They just regurgitate what the politicians say.
Yes. Okay, caller, you made some very good points. I appreciate you calling and bringing those points across. And this is what I'm trying to get Bahamians to understand. You have to look deeper under what is happening rather than just looking on the surface, because many persons who have, quote unquote, citizenship, they got it by fraud. If they got it under the Nationality Act, every single person who got, quote unquote, citizenship. See, it cheats on real, genuine Bahamians like myself. You cannot make these people say they're Bahamian citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and they don't qualify. The Nationality Act could never grant citizenship to anybody. It's a fraud.
Yes,
but yet, but Carly, you're correct. The government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas has been using it for 52 years.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact of life. It came into effect purportedly under the old Parliament, July the 10th, 1973.
Right.
When the Supreme Law, we became a new nation, and Article 2 in that Supreme Law says any other law that is inconsistent with this Constitution, this Constitution shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of its consistency, is void, meaning it's nothing. It's weightless.
Yes, it is of no
effect.
And last at least, my final comment. I can let you go. Last but not least, sir, is that I learned of a group that have finally took the matter and have challenged the government in order for them to give an account about citizenship. Now, we all know in this country that that's they're gonna let that lag on until after the election. And this is the reason why I said to you, sir, you are talking to a Bahamian who are awoken.
But I'm glad you found out that there is a group that has taken action against the government of the Bahamas in relation to the Constitution. You're correct on that. I'm very well aware of it. And I'm going to tell you, you pray to God for divine intervention because we need his intervention. See,
Correct.
the problem with people is this. See, they looking at flesh and blood, skin and bone. See, God has to remove the stumbling blocks out of the way. And he will, you know. He has a special place for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to have to remove those stumbling blocks out of the way. Just keep your mind open, because God is about to move in a way that some people will be very much surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, because the Bahamas has a role to play, and God is going to keep the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So we look to God for his divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take this on your own human strength or your own human intellect. And some people get frightened and scared. And I tell them plainly, that's the way of the devil. He wants you to be afraid. He wants you to be scared. But that matter will be dealt with. And there are those who are trying to block it. You're correct on that, caller. But you see, that's the nature of the beast. But that's all right. God will take care of it.
I hope that matter is addressed before election is called, because, sir, it is so bad that you have a government that is sending the Bahamas national flag carrier to Haiti, and they come with 3 flights a week, 900 Haitians who cannot speak English, but they come in with work permit and they come in with passport. How is that possible in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
That's a good question, Carl. I'm glad you asked that question. That's an excellent question. And this is why I am saying to the people, you have to look at the facts as to what is happening in this country by those who are running the place. You examine the evidence. You examine, and what you just said is just one out of many things. Because that is happening every week. And so we have to deal with that, Bahamians. It's important that we understand what is going on, because you have to make sound decisions and good judgment. Do not take this election lightly. It's a very serious matter. The very future of your country is at stake. Carl, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead. Make your last point, because you did well today.
Also, this is the reason why yesterday I could have emphatically and undeniably answered your question, because my background, my mother and father, I had it from both sides. Father was a F&M Starwood counselor. Mother, PLP Starwood counselor. Matter of fact, Celine Bindon. My grandmother in San Salvador and in Cat Island. I remember as a little boy. Brave and Celine Bindon and all of them, they ate out of my grandmother pot. And I answered them. I asked Celine Bindon when I was a little boy. I believe I was about 5 or 6. And I asked him this one question. And I asked him, I said, because I was partly schooling in the United States. And I asked, I said, well, how come the Constitution is not taught inside the school? Because when I read inside the United States, those things were taught in the curriculum in the United States. How government works, how senators, how bills are passed, well, etc. And the answer that I got, in order to control them, you have to keep them ignorant. That was back then. It wasn't no internet, nothing. It was an encyclopedic library.
Yeah.
And I read it. I had to go on and research. And when I researched it, and from then to now, I was a different person.
Okay.
And so I always question what the validity of what a person says.
Yes.
Because My Bible tells me, you watch what a man do, not what he say.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
And keep listening and keep observing, because the Bahamian people will be called upon to make sound decisions and good judgment. Thank you very much for your contribution. Bahamians, we have to take these matters very seriously. This coming election could either make or break the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Do not take it lightly, Bahamians. It is important that you participate in the parliamentary process to choose a representative at the constituency level, and also that same individual is to represent you at the national level in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So we have a lot of work to do, Bahamians. There are things that need to change in this country. So I want you to send me that email, the State of the Nation 242@gmail.com. That's my email. I want you to send me that. Please put your phone numbers on the email and say, Professor, I'm willing to support what you're doing. 7,000 plus emails I'm looking for. I want you to send it today, Bahamians. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it today, because a lot of work has to be done. We got to have town meetings. We got to have constitutional classes. We have to have constitutional lectures. We have to have support for the show. We have to attend those rallies. Remember I told you that some part had rally last night. We were not able to get to that one. But Bahamians, we have to take this thing very seriously, because the very future of your country is at stake. Do not take anything for granted. God expects you to do what you ought to do, and he will add the rest. He's not going to do for you what you could do for yourself. God will do for us what we cannot do when we cry out to him. But we have to do our part. And he tells us to be obedient to him. And that's important. We have to become righteous in our dealings one with another. We can't continue to live in sin and wickedness and corruptible practices and expect God to bless us. God doesn't tolerate foolishness and nonsense. That's why he said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Bahamians, let's become righteous on the ground in our communities where we live, and we will have a righteous candidate to run in the next general election. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be on tomorrow from 2 to 4. Thank you very much. Be safe, Bahamians. Do not get yourself into no trouble. But pray for the nation, that God will help us in this time of crisis. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant afternoon.